Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is going to be a love reading for you if you are single. So we're going to look at who is coming in. It probably lasts for the next 4 weeks or so. Okay, so bottom of the deck, we've got the Lovers, which is very exciting and very apt. So the general theme is one of love. Lovers is an angel. This is a guided pairing that you're coming into, or rather maybe the better way of saying it is your next partnership is guided. I wanted to change what I said there because for some of you I have a feeling this could be somebody coming back. This could be somebody that you're already familiar with. The Lovers is a choice. It sort of feels to me like somebody may have chosen to come out of a relationship or chosen not to develop a relationship is possibly a better way of putting it. Somebody chose not to develop something that had promise, I suppose. Or maybe another way to put it is perhaps there was a connection that was not explored fully. Somebody chose not to explore it fully. That's what it feels like. So that could be somebody you've just met that maybe you quite like the look of, or it could be somebody you've actually had a fling with, or somebody you were in a relationship with, or it could just be somebody that maybe you had an inkling about. I mean, what I'm trying to say is the variations between knowing somebody quite well and not knowing them at all are all covered here. That's what it feels like. So it's going to be different for each of you. I don't think this is dependent on having been in a relationship fully with somebody in the past. It just feels like there might be some sort of link in the past that was not fully explored. That's the best way of putting it. So at the centre of the reading we have, well, it's more or less exactly what I was just saying, the Eight of Cups, which is the card of retreating. It's a bit of a sad energy, the Eight of Cups. And it's a little bit of a confusing energy. The moon is very prominent here, and the moon is always a little bit of a veiled energy, I suppose. It sort of implies that not everything was known or not everything was obvious at the time. So somebody retreated from some sort of connection in what feels to be a slightly sad way. And this person, the person who retreated and did not explore the connection fully, did so in a sort of reluctant, I want to say sad energy, but it's more reluctant than sad. Well, it's a bit of both. They reluctantly chose to step away instead of trying, instead of finding out what the partnership could be. You see, if you look at the Lovers properly for a minute, it holds great promise, doesn't it? You know, it's a guided connection. This should have felt good. This should have been explored. And somebody chose not to explore it properly. Why? Well, what's crossing the situation is death. And death is a big change, but it's an inevitable change. I suppose what I'm trying to say is at the time that the person retreated, possibly they felt like there might be another chance in the future. Maybe they felt like now what at that point was not the right time, and so there couldn't be a connection. It sort of feels like that. And so there's been a period of separation, and then death is here to create a new change. Because of course, nothing stays the same. And so if what has been staying the same is the separation, and that is not going to stay the same, then death is here to say that that retreating and separation is going to end. And if that's if that retreat and separation is ending, then that would imply that this partnership can come back together or begin in the first place. I mean, some of you may not have even started anything. It just feels like there was an embryo of a relationship and it just wasn't developed. It wasn't allowed to develop. It's just really interesting. To me, this feels like it's been, honestly, only thing I want to say here, and I'm going to say it and it's going to sound ridiculous, but I'm still saying it. Feels like it's been ordained by God. That's what it feels like. It just feels you should be in connection. You're supposed to be in connection with somebody that held great promise, and it didn't get going. But it's supposed to. You know what's interesting? I'm just getting a lot of guided elements here. We have an angel, we have death. We also have what's crowning the situation is the Chariot. This is also guided. It's guided movement. It's not actually moving. It's getting ready to move. So somebody here, do you know what I think? I think fate is going to intervene here and bring you two back into some sort of connection. That's what that feels like to me. Do you know this is a strange thing? I'm going to say a lot of strange things in this reading. I can tell you now. There's a lot of pairings here. No, there's a pair of people in the Lovers card. Chariot and the Empress to me have always looked like a pair. Or in this deck at least. Not in every deck, but in this deck they look like they belong together. They just really do. And they've both got guidance. So that's guidance, guidance, angel. This is a big sweeping change that's happening, and it's happening for the good of both of you. And it feels to me like it's going to happen to you. It feels like you're not going to have to do anything. This is just going to happen. This connection that I feel has been ordained by the Almighty, I feel like they're going to step in and take charge. I can't tell you why I'm saying that. It just feels fated. Right, let's get something's come out here. This is another card of choice. Well, maybe it was, it was chosen at the time. There was a choice not to connect the way it should have been. Right, well, that's fallen out. Right, okay. And that's true. Well, if ever I take the Ace of Swords when I'm speaking, it's because it's true. Sword of Truth. There was a choice not to develop this connection in the past. And it is a true connection. And it is going to be developed in the future. I can tell you now. Because at the outcome, we've got the King and Queen of Pentacles. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but let's just see if there's anything else. Right, okay, interesting. So 9 of Pentacles. One person has been working on their wealth and the other person has been working on their self. One's been working on wealth and the other has been working on self. So the disconnect, it has brought about a change in both parties, I feel like. Both parties have chosen to develop themselves or develop an element of their life. Maybe one person didn't have very firm boundaries, I think, and the other person has chosen to develop their wealth. Well, that feels like a very masculine thing to want to do, to be honest. So that's probably the masculine. Maybe they didn't feel good enough. Well, one party didn't feel good enough. I think the other party wanted to explore this connection, but they couldn't. It's not quite clear to me why they couldn't. Why couldn't this connection be explored in the past? We've got the 3 of Cups here. This is the card of joy and happiness. But there are other people in this card. So perhaps in the past it couldn't be brought together properly because of other people. Well, that feels like a thing. And so one or both parties chose, for the sake of other people, not to fully explore this connection. And so both parties have ended up being single and developing themselves. So actually, in a way, that could be a good thing. It could mean that you're both in a better condition or better position in order to reconnect now. I hope so. That feels like a thing anyway. So let's just clarify. Why do we have the Chariot in the crowning position? If you're interested, we've got 2 cards here. Decided to put out sort of half of the Celtic cross spread. I didn't feel like I wanted to do the whole spread, so I've just put out the central part. We've got the 6 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. I cannot tell you how often the Wheel of Fortune is coming out in my readings. It's like literally every reading I do at the moment. Wheel of Fortune, it's coming your way. This is fated. This is a fated connection. It's a two-way street. Both people feel the same. It's moving. This relationship, situationship, affair, fling, fancy even, that was not fully explored is being fated to come back to have another go, to explore the connection more fully. It is fated. I'm telling you now, I've never felt anything more strongly. It's fated. So why is the Chariot in the crowning position getting ready to move? Because the Wheel of Fortune has decided it is the right time. It's the right time for both people. Both parties have been working on themselves. I think partly due to the connection that could have almost been in the past that wasn't. It has led both parties to work on themselves, and they're in a much better energy to come back together. I think so. Yeah, brilliant. Wow. I mean, this is good. In the underneath position, what's hidden or not clear is the Empress energy. This is the most feminine energy in the deck. Now, why is she in the underneath position? Ooh. Well, she's the dynamic queen here. If you are a fire sign feminine, then this is very much your energy. Queen of Wands is not scared of anything. The Queen of Wands is the most dynamic, intuitive queen, creative queen. This is a powerful woman. So this was to do with putting boundaries in place, I think. I think that the feminine energy has been very quietly just doing her own thing. It's more than that. It feels to me like she's actually might have been building something. I don't know if it's building herself up or building, I want to say building a future. I'm not quite sure what I mean by that. She's been working on something quietly, and she's building a future that is going to, I want to say safeguard her, really. I mean, if I put these three feminine energies together, this is a really formidable feminine force here. The only other feminine card I'd like to see in order to feel even more powerful would be the High Priestess. These feminines are very powerful. I think the feminine put a boundary in place, possibly, or just decided she wasn't ready for anything yet. Maybe that she put the boundary in place for herself. That feels like a thing. I did do a reading recently for Aries, just thinking about it, and that was talking about being ready to come into partnership. So if you're an Aries, this could be particularly pertinent or relevant. So this is good. Oh, look, I just said the only other feminine energy I'd want would be the High Priestess, and I've just taken the next card off of the top of the deck, and there we are. Yeah, this feminine is extremely powerful at the moment, especially if you're a fire sign, but more especially even if you're an Aries or a Pisces or a Taurus, because those are the three cards represented. Wow. I mean, the feminine party of this connection is really, really in their best energy. And I think that's a lot of woman for anybody to match up to, really. That is a lot of woman. So the other person, well, it's interesting. In the past, I think they were looking for a bit of fun. They could be a fire sign, younger than you. They were looking for fun, sowing their wild oats. And I think that's literally what it was in the past for them. Let's have a look at the Knight of Wands. Yeah, well, that's changed. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like that was a long, long time ago. I don't think literally it was that long ago, but to this masculine, I think that feels like this energy feels like a lifetime ago. It feels like there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, and a lot of maturing and growing up has been going on, I think, from that masculine. He probably is younger than you, I think, possibly. But, you know, that doesn't matter really, because, well, I mean, in this card of retreating, and I said it feels a sad energy, and I said there was the moon, and it all felt a bit confusing and not clear. Exactly that. I don't think he really knew what it was. You know, out for a bit of fun, and he thought perhaps there might be something there, and then it just really sort of took him by surprise, I think. I don't think he was expecting there to be a connection, to be perfectly honest. I don't think he was expecting it. What's really good, though, in the future position, we have the King of Pentacles. So that masculine has gone from being a fun-loving free and easy, wild oats sowing knight to a properly mature masculine energy of the King of Pentacles. I mean, this is a serious king. This king knows what he's doing. He's got his head screwed on. You can't pull the wool over this king's eyes. This king is, I just want to say he's everything. I mean, he's very nearly the emperor. For me, the King of Pentacles is as close to the emperor as you get from the other kings. He's got it all. He's got his head screwed on. He knows how to make money. He's comfortable in his own skin. He's self-assured, but not arrogant. He's also determined, capable, financially stable, and proactive. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving, the King of Pentacles is not. This king here, I don't know, you can't really see probably. He's got armour on underneath his robes here. This is a man who's not scared of rolling up his sleeves and getting his hands dirty. This king would go to battle for you. This is the sort of man you want in your corner. This is the sort of masculine energy that will protect you and provide for you. This is the sort of masculine energy that any father would want for their daughter. Yeah. Oh God, I'm getting a chill. Yeah, wow. It's gone from this to this. There's been a big change. A lot of growing up. But believe it or not, I wanted to take another card. And it was the Queen of Pentacles. And I think what this is saying, this is the card of knowing your own worth. I suppose it's the archetypal feminine card, really, because it's often the feminines that don't know their own worth. But in this instance, I believe that it's the feminine who has spurred the masculine into growing up and to really getting into his king energy. Because it was because of her. It's what it feels like. He's felt inspired to do it. He's felt like he's had to do it. He's had to grow up in order to be good enough to be paired with her. That's what it feels like. Yeah, really powerful. Really powerful. Four of Swords. Well, I'm talking about timing. Could be in 4 days. I mean, that would be quick. Or it could be around Christmas, actually, because this is in a church. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Cups, which is a happy ever after. And the deck is just split. It's a happy ever after with the King of Cups. The King of Cups is the king who classically doesn't know how he feels. And I think that's really pertinent here. I think that the masculine part of this partnership has classically in the past not known how he's felt. He didn't know. When he was sowing his wild oats and having a great time, he did not know what was going on. It was all a bit confusing and he didn't know how he felt. But there's been a very big change. Well, we know that because we had death here. There's been a very big change and he's really manning up, I would say, because he's worked out how he feels. The King of Cups and the 10 of Cups. This man knows how he feels and he knows what he wants now. That's very clear to me that he knows what he wants. Wow. Wonderful. We've got partnership everywhere. It's very exciting. Let's see if there is anything else that we need to know. So let's talking in terms of signs. It could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, masculine, in case you're not sure who this is. Younger than you, but now quite serious about approaching you with an offer. Anything else we need to know? I feel like saying as well, this is the 4 of Swords. This comes after the 3 of Swords, which is the card of heartbreak. He can come in with an offer now that he's recovered from his broken heart. The separation here, that when he retreated and he wasn't sure of how he felt, I think whilst he's been in separation, if I can find that 8 of Cups card, whilst he's been in separation, I think he might have had a bit of a broken heart. And I think that probably surprised him a little bit. I'm not sure if he knew he didn't know what this was. But I think it's probably left quite a lasting impression on him. And I think he's had to go through a period of healing. And now he's able to come in with an actual offer. He's able to come in with an approach. This is very, very earnest. This is sincere. Do we need to know anything else? Okay. The Fool is a brand new start and it's taking a leap of faith. taking a leap of faith to come forward with a cup of love to offer. Wow, that is brilliant. Do we need any more at all? Yeah. This is Temperance. It's the card of balance. It's also the card of Sagittarius, but that's not why it's here. This connection is fated and guided. You're both been guided back together. And if I look here, when we were talking about the King of Cups not knowing how he felt, we've got the Knight of Cups offering up his cup of love to tell you how he feels. He knows how he feels and he's coming in to make you a proper offer. Wow, so exciting. Well, here we are. Bottom of the deck. This is electronic communication, texting, emails, phoning. He knows how he feels. He wants to make a solid offer. He wants to tell you how he feels, make a solid offer and communicate. And in fact, he's not resisting this connection anymore. That's what that feels like to me. No resistance anymore. Whatever it was, it is fated and guided, and it's coming into partnership very, very soon. Wow. Well, how wonderful. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. If you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.